So when you are, taking voice lessons, this is one of the first things you have to learn about. Most voice teachers will call your upper register, where your high notes are, your head voice. And most voice teachers will call your lower part of your range your chest voice. Some people just say upper or lower register. And some people don't believe in saying any of those things. It's a little bit controversial. So I'm going to tell you my opinions about this, but just so you know, there are other opinions out there. So you can ask other people if you want to know about those. I'll tell you my opinion. I like to say head voice and chest voice, but I'm going to explain where those terms come from because they can be a little confusing. So chest voice is the low part of our range that sounds sort of like this. Can you make it sound like that? Do you feel? Yeah. And so if you make it sound like that and you put your hands on your chest like this, you can feel some vibrations in your chest. See if you can feel that. Right? Mm-hmm. So our voice, this is always so funny to me. There on YouTube, I'll always see these suggestions that I watch these videos that say, stop singing from your throat. And which I get why you would, I get what people mean when they say that. I probably said that myself, but at the same time, it's really funny because it's not possible. It would be impossible to sing from anywhere else. This is your larynx right here in your throat, and that's where you're singing from always, right? But like in the 1600s or so, when vocal pedagogy was being developed, like they didn't know a ton about anatomy at that time, so they just noticed like, like I feel these vibrations here, I know that has something to do with sound, and I guess that is where that term chest voice comes from. But it's not as if your voice is actually coming from your chest, it's coming from your throat always. Which is why some people don't like saying head and chest voice, because it's not scientific, it's just based in this old tradition instead. But it is based in that tradition because of sensation. So I still think the labels, even though they're not scientific, they still are helpful in my opinion, because you do feel sensations that make sense with those labels. So then head voice, if you make a really high sound like this, woo! This will be much more subtle than the chest voice vibrations, but if you kind of put your hand here, or if you even just think about this like part of your face, sometimes maybe people think of this as the mask, they'll call it that sometimes in voice lessons. You can feel some smaller little vibrations up here, sympathetic vibrations, as your voice is being produced here in your larynx. So let's try and see if we can feel those. Woo! 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 Do you feel it a little bit?
Not right here, no.
Yeah, well that's okay. Those are much more subtle. They're more difficult to feel, especially for males. I can feel it, but yeah, that it's okay if you don't feel it. But anyways, so chest voice tends to be well developed because people tend to speak in their chest voices, and so we are developing our chest voices all the time when we're speaking, and we can find them easily when we try to sing. But the tricky thing usually is there's also head voice, or this is also controversial, sometimes head voice and falsetto in males. Some people feel they're the same thing, some people feel they're different things. Whatever the high part of a male's voice, whatever you want to call it, is usually not well developed at all. And so the problem, and the other problem other than not being well developed, is like, how do you get from here to here? So you have those two problems. This head voice needs to be strengthened so it is equal with how strong the chest voice already is. And then somehow, like, there's this gap here that you're feeling when we did the siren just now, right? Yeah. This like bump. Everyone feels it, which is why I believe in teaching with register breaks, or teaching about register breaks when you're teaching voice lessons. So it's like, how do you get from one to the other and then back again? And they both parts sound strong and free and easy. So this little bump here, there's a word for that. It's called the passaggio, which is an Italian word meaning passageway, which makes sense, right? It's just like there's like a passageway to get from high to low somehow. Does that kind of make sense to you? Some people call it your mixed voice or mixed register, because you have to kind of mix your head and chest voice together, which is what you're going to be trying to do with the siren. And so the reason we have to do that is because the chest voice is great for singing low pitches like we just did, but it is not good for singing high pitches. You can hear this, and if you try it, you can feel it in your larynx. If you keep trying to go up with your chest voice, you will hear and feel tightness and strain in your voice. So I'll demonstrate, and then if you want to try to join in or copy afterwards, this will sound bad, and it should, because that's why people need voice lessons, so they don't sound like this. It's a very bad way to sing, unhealthy. So like you'll kind of hit a ceiling where it's like, oh, that does not sound like that voice can sing that. So can you try that? See if you can find that place. Start low and slide up.
Like
right where you feel that break coming, but don't let yourself slip. Did you feel how you flipped? Don't let the flip happen. But try to keep going up. Yeah, it's hard to do it wrong. That's good. That's good that it's hard for you to do it wrong. And head voice is really wonderful for singing high pitches, but not so good at singing low pitches. And you can kind of hear the head voice bottom out when you try to sing with the head voice too low. You can hear just like, probably stop there, right? So we need to be able to strengthen and then bridge the gap between the two. So the siren can help us with the blending part, which is what we want to think about right now. So we're going to inhale like the surprise party breath or candle blow breath inhale. I don't know, have we talked about those yet?
No.
Okay, so just a nice deep inhale so your tummy pops out. And then we'll start with an oo vowel at the lowest pitch in our registers, and then we'll slide up to the highest pitch in our registers and then back down again. And we'll try our best to do all of that in one breath, but if either of us need to stop and catch a breath, it's no big deal. Just pick up where you left off and keep going. Here we go. Ooh.
Am I doing it with you?
Yeah, do it with me.
Yeah.
I felt like we could go back lower than that.
I don't know.
We'll just catch a breath and keep going. Oh, but stop before the vocal fry. Before you hit vocal fry, begin above that and stop before you get to that, because that's not what we're trying to do right now. So when you feel that break coming between the lower and higher parts of your voices, try to do two things. Think of lightening up and think of slowing down. So like reduce your speed of ascent and just try to lighten your voice a little bit, and see if you do those two things, slow down and lighten up, if you can like ease over the break just a little bit more smoothly than you did the time before. So let's try one more. A nice deep breath, starting down low, right above your vocal fry. That was great. Just catch your breath and keep going. That's exactly what you should do. This is also a great test for inflammation in your vocal folds, because if you have a lot of bumps in your upper register, that usually means you have inflammation in your vocal folds. I'm surprised I didn't have more bumps because I have this candle. It makes my throat scratchy. But I like how it smells. But I'm doing okay, I guess, today. Any questions about any of that? Okay, great job. 2 thumbs up for you.